At this point, if there's any aunties and uncles frowning upon what I'm saying and my profession, I would like to point out that this couple lived together before they were married. Yeah, this is the union of two sinners. This is how you know the Bhardwajas and the Shahs are cool, because their traditional Indian wedding serves alcohol and stand-up comedy. What? They actually want you to have a good time. This is unheard of. So, of course, some of you are wondering, why me? Why am I here? Well, I went to UC Berkeley, like the couple. Go Bears. I majored in applied mathematics. That's why I do comedy now. One time, there was an auntie who fell in love with my comedy. She came to my show 7 times in a year. And at the end of the year, she's like, you need new jokes. I was like, you need to come to less shows. Indians are the fastest growing ethnic group in America right now. You know that? Fastest growing. Yeah. You guys are pumping them out. That's the truth. Fastest growing. As if Columbus came now, he would have been right. Isn't that crazy? What? Or maybe he was a prophet way ahead of his time. Like, here we are, America, land of the Indians. Columbus, there's no Indians here. Just wait 500 years. They'll be in Sunnyvale, Fremont, Mountain View. I'm telling you, just go there. Isn't that crazy? This land was taken from American Indians. It's being taken back by Indian Americans. That's so perfect. That's so perfect. And I'm happy because our math score is going to go way up. It's amazing. Yeah, my Indian friend didn't like that. He's like, bro, that's racist, dude. I'm Indian. I'm not even good at math. I'm like, does that make me racist or does that make you a failure? Like, if your mom was here, would she say that I'm racist, or would she be like, no, he's right, you messed up? I love Indian culture. My best friend is Indian, so it's an arranged friendship, and I run a side business. We sell fake Indian dresses at my business. It's called Sorry Not Sorry. My friends came out. They were rolling like 10 deep. That was one of the names, actually, 10 deep, and a lot of my Indian friends are Republican, actually, because of the elephant. But these friends have their Prius, right? Not the car, but 2 girls named Priya, the Prius. And the Prius started fighting right in front of me, so I broke up the fight because they're Hindu. I'm like, you can't have beef. The point is, I'm not Indian, but my act is really Punjabi, if you know what I mean, guys. Punjabi. That's 10 one-liners in a row. It's called a decagon right there. That's math, comedy, Indian culture, all wrapped up in a naan. Well, let's talk about this fabulous couple here. I'm so blessed. I've known Vaishali for many years. She's an amazing person. And Suneet, I literally just met him today, but he seems chill. He seems so chill. Yes. Congrats. For all I know, they met today. I really don't know. It's actually been a dream of mine to perform at the wedding of 2 kids from Harker High School. It really is a dream come true. It is so awesome to be here for the union of these 2 nerds. Harker is an amazing school. When 2 alums from Harker get married, some kid somewhere gets a perfect SAT score. That is a fact. That is a fact. That's why they booked me. I'm the math guy. It all makes sense now. It's really, I can't do the math jokes everywhere. You have to understand, this is America, right? I can only do them for NASA and Indian gigs. That's all I got. That's all I got. I love Indian weddings. Indian weddings, they're too long, though. That's why they never made an Indian Wedding Crashers movie. It would have been 40 hours. Indian weddings are like the person who celebrates their birthday all month. You know that annoying person? Like, it's my birth month. Like, your birthday is the week after next on a Saturday. Put the bottle down, Sandeep. It's so crazy to me how extravagant Indian weddings can be when you know about Indians in general, their purchasing tendencies. Not the biggest spenders in the world. Let's be honest. And that's not even racist. I did a statistical sample in Fremont, California, 100 people, and I concluded that Indians know how to save money. The sample only costed me $5. Isn't that amazing, right? He's like, that is a good deal. That is a good deal. Middle Eastern weddings are simple. We do one day, and then I get a dowry. That's why I'm horrible with spending. I'm like, oh, my dowry will cover this later. I love doing the Indian weddings. I love the romance. They're so romantic. My favorite romance of all time is from Friends, Ross and Rachel. Anybody? Is that? I know, it's so cheesy. I'm actually writing my own romantic comedy, like based off of Friends, but it's in Gujarati. It's called Ross and Garba. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, come on! I wrote that for this, baby! I wrote that for this. White people ask me, they're like, what is Ross? I've never seen it. I'm like, sticks and feet, bro. Sticks and feet. That's what it is, man. That's why when you marry Gujarati, you know they know how to put their foot down. That is the truth. That's Gujarati diplomacy right there. Speak softly, carry a medium-sized stick. You know what I mean? Wow, this is grade A material, baby. Sorry, and if somebody was like trying to correct me on the pronunciation. My pronunciation is not perfect, okay? Like most Americans, I've learned some Hindi from yoga class. That's what I know. Like namaste, that means class is over, you can go home. Where the Janes at? We got some Janes at? Where the Janes? Where my Janes? Very, very quiet and polite, I like it. My best friend growing up was Jane. I learned a lot about Jainism. I want to marry Jane. I would love to marry Jane. There's only 5 vows. It's very, you know the 5 vows, right? Of Jane, like I'm teaching Jainism to Jains. They're like, yeah, we know the 5 vows, obviously. Nonviolence, no stealing, no lying, chastity, and no possessiveness. That's the most important one for a marriage, man. You marry a Jain, they get jealous, like, remember the 5th vow. By the way, I feel safe poking fun at Jains because they're the only religion that actually practices nonviolence. They're not going to do anything to me, and I feel so comfortable talking about them right now. And I know, obviously, 2 vegetarians here today. Of course, when 2 vegetarians get married, a cow cries somewhere. Tears of joy. Jains have the highest respect for all forms of life. I was shocked when I learned this in high school that some Jains won't even walk on grass because it will hurt the life of the grass. That blew my mind. Some Jains avoid grass. And in the case of Sunit, some smoke it. Come on, dude. You gave me that info. You know you did, bro. You know you did. Yeah. He was honest. You're like, why did he send you that info? Maybe he was high when he did. I don't know. At this point, if there's any aunties and uncles frowning upon what I'm saying and my profession, I would like to point out that this couple lived together before they were married. Yeah. This is the union of 2 sinners. I'm a saint. Just pointing out the truthisms. A great couple, obviously. Everything about them fits perfectly, right? Vishali's a professional chef, which is awesome for when Sunit has the munchies. You know what I mean? It's so perfect. So perfect. Right? And you're obviously a great husband, right? Sunit got the diamond imported from India, okay? You know this guy is going to be good at cutting costs at every chance he gets. Every chance he gets. I didn't even know your I didn't even know your cultural background. When I heard that, I was like, he's Gujarati, for sure. For sure Gujarati. And I knew the buffet was Gujarati because they had the chow mein noodles. Right? Did he really? Oh, that's so awesome, dude. Every Gujarati has a cousin who sends a diamond. I swear to God. I've never met a Gujarati who does not have a cousin who has a lot of diamonds on hand. That's not a stereotype, it's fact, until you prove it wrong. So awesome when I heard that the parents of this couple have known each other for 30 years. That's amazing. It's good to know that arranged marriage is still alive and well. You know what I'm saying? 30 years. I'm kidding, I know. I know it's not arranged, but it kind of was. You know what I mean? No, I am a fan of arranged marriage. That's not because I'm Middle Eastern, okay? It's because Indian weddings are so long. You know, it's like the Indian wedding lasts like 10 nights. That's 10 dates right there. You meet the person, you know them by the end of the wedding. That's like all you need to do. It's like the seeds are planted early. Like the weddings they can start even before the couple even knows each other. Like it starts at childhood. They're introduced and like the parents know, but they don't, you know. And There's like chemistry that comes later in life, and it's perfect. And then they date, and then there's a proposal, then there's like 30 engagement parties. Some of them are streamed live from Mumbai. Some of them are on a boat for some reason. And there's a bachelor and bachelorette, both in Europe. Let's just go full on. Then there's like 6 months of partying, right? Then there's a barat, a garba, a Jain ceremony, 10 receptions, a brunch, and an Arab-American comedian. I mean, come on. That is quite a festival right there. Indians are the one culture where the wedding lasts as long as the marriage. But that's what it is, because the steps and the steps and the steps, because if you can make it through an Indian wedding, you can make it through an Indian marriage. That is the truth. And I'm saying that from a place I'm not even Indian or married. I'm just saying that as an authority. It's so crazy. All the work, all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into an Indian wedding. And that's why India has the lowest divorce rate in the world. 1%, baby. 1% with a standard deviation of 0.01. That's safer than flying. Feels good to be here at a wedding, a fun, fresh wedding. My friends are getting married. They're having a destination wedding. It's in Iraq. It's a final destination wedding. Don't go to that one. Don't go to that one. Oh, that's a dark joke, I know. But the aunties over there loved it. Indian weddings, they're becoming in fashion too. I know a couple, they did a barat ceremony. They're not even Indian. Yeah, it was a black and a white couple. It was a Barack Obama. Thank you so much for having me. I love you. Sinead Vashali, I love you guys. You're so awesome.
Where are you? Where is our leader?
Hey y'all, this is Sammy Obeid, math major. There's two things right now in the world that disgust me. Number one, police brutality. Number two, people arguing about it using shitty math.
Do you think systemic racism is a problem in law enforcement agencies in the United States?
No, I don't think there's systemic racism. I think 99.9% of our law enforcement officers are great Americans.
If you want to have a productive conversation about police brutality, you gotta at least come correct with your basic arithmetic. Before I begin, I am not anti-police. In fact, I love the police. In fact, I'm in love with the police. And I know this because every time I see one on the road, my heart starts beating uncontrollably. I have no political agenda. I'm not liberal, I'm not conservative, I'm not black, I'm not white. I'm Arab American, which just gives you more reason to hate me. Let's go. We don't even deal with the police, we deal directly with the CIA. Math myth 1. In America, the police kill more white people than black people. This is the most divisive statement because it's the first thing conservatives bring up, and then liberals often respond, nuh-uh. Black people are 2.5 times more likely to be killed by the police. So which is true? Both. This information comes from Statista.com, a non-politically affiliated service. Rule number one when citing stats, always get it from sources that are just raw data, because we all know raw is best. So I took the average over the last 3 years because I passed the 5th grade. In America, the police kill about 1,000 civilians each year, 409 of which are white, that we know of. Despite what our sports fields look like, black people make up 13% of the population, and white people make up 60%, which means if cops shot all of our country at random and killed 1,000 people total, only 130 would be black, but for some reason, it's 222. Which means black people are, by definition, disproportionately murdered by the police. I know it's a big word, but it's a big problem, so learn the word. Now, let me show you a very sad math trick. If you divide these numbers by their share of the population, you get 1708 and 681. And if you divide those two ratios, you get that black people are 2.5 times more likely to get killed by the police. So the reason people are divided on this is because they can't divide. Math myth 2. There was a tweet floating around the last few days. For every 10,000 black people arrested for violent crime, 3 are killed. For every 10,000 white people arrested for violent crime, 4 are killed. He only tweeted it once, so I guess somebody responded. I don't fully understand where this came from, and I Googled it in various phrasings, but still nothing. So let's just assume that it's true to be nice, because every person on Twitter deserves at least one chance. What's also true, African Americans are 21 times more likely to be arrested for violent crimes than white Americans. Now this was in 1999, so we can definitely blame Hillary, am I right? A more current stat, in 2015, the UN, which I never heard of but sounds like some Marxist to me, says that African American adults are 5.9 times as likely to be incarcerated than white Americans. But forget the UN. Let's use a domestic source. University of Michigan literally hand-counted the exonerations in 2016 and found that African American prisoners who were convicted of murder are about 50% more likely to be innocent than other convicted murderers. Again, these are verified stats, blue check mark and all. Applying any one of these stats to this tweet, you still get that black people are more likely to be killed by police than white people, regardless of the crime. In a country where there are 4 white people for every 1 black person you've seen Seinfeld. Math myth 3. A couple years ago, a Yale English major, yes, English, she had to go to Yale to study English, wrote this piece called The Myth Black Lives Matter. What kind of human vacuum do you have to be to write an article with this title? Like, not even trying to hide the racism. So Heather says, over the past decade, according to FBI data, 40% of cop killers have been black. Officers are killed by blacks at a rate of 2.5 times higher than the rate at which blacks are killed by the police. First of all, anybody who says the blacks is racist. Like, you could have easily just said black people, but you chose to dehumanize them by removing the people part. Just the blacks. Like you love the Mike Epps movie. This is a complete BS statistic. Look up the data on police killings. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you from the Officer Down Memorial page. This is a pro-law enforcement site. About 150 officers are killed in the line of duty each year over the last few years. Over 200 black people are killed by the police every year. Do you see the problem yet? Taking what she says literally, if 40% of cop killers are black, that's 60 officers killed by black people a year, 200 black people killed by officers a year, 60 divided by 200 is 0.3. She said it's 2.5, which maybe she mixed up with the likelihood of black people getting killed by the police. But then again, she spent $200K to major in something you can learn from a pocket dictionary. By the way, if you are seething with anger at this point in my video, please light up the comment section with some racist prove how not racist you are. I'll help you out. Math myth 4. Let's stick with Heather for a moment because she seems to love making mathematical arguments, even though Wall Street Journal makes sure to let people know it's just opinion. She wrote an article this week basically saying the police aren't racist. What's her proof? It's all Obama's fault. She says, in 2018, African Americans made up 53% of known homicide offenders in the US. So I decided to do what none of her readers do apparently, which is check the work. Look at this table, directly from the FBI. I have them in my bookmarks because they do the same for me. See here, African Americans are 6,318 of homicide offenders in 2018. Again, those that were convicted. Divided by 16,335 homicides, total is 38%. You just said it was 54. You didn't think we were gonna check? So for the record, black people do not commit over half of the homicides in America. Just ask the FBI. Secondly, look at this. Over 4,000 of these homiciders race unknown. In a country where the majority is white, everyone knows what race they are. You couldn't identify the race of a quarter of the offenders? So let's just call them racial dolezal. Math myth 5. Also by our English major friend,
Heather McDonald of Manhattan.
She said in a testimony in front of Congress last year that in 2017, there were 7,851 black homicide victims. Only 2.8% of those black casualties were killed by a cop. Now, if anybody ever says to you that only 2.8% of a group of people is killed by anything, your expected response should always be, it should be 0%, you basic binary bitch. Well, that one was easy. Math myth 6. White officers are no more likely to kill black civilians than other officers. My first response to this is, so what? That's not the problem here. The problem is police brutality against minorities, not the color of the skin of the person who commits the brutality. You don't need to make this any more racist than it already is. But I still looked into it, and 2 universities compiled a list of more than 900 fatal US police shootings in 2015, then asked police departments for information about the race of the offenders responsible for the shootings. So basically asking the police department, hey, can you give us some data that might show that you're racist? And the police department's like, oh yeah, 1 second. Yeah, there you go. Whoa. There you go. Oh, other side. Maureen, get the shredder! So if your argument is that black cops are more or even equally likely to kill black suspects, you're making a pretty heavy accusation on the percentage of black cops that are crooked. Think about that. Math myth 7. Police brutality is directly correlated with the crime rate. Simply not true. Look at this graph. I double, triple checked the data on this, and I encourage you to do the same. What, you don't have time, but you have time to argue? Well, congratulations, you're a goddamn American. Math myth 8. All of the data on police brutality is accurate and reliable. What? We can't trust the government? Aside from the bogus stats I've shown you today,
99.9%.
there's also been countless incidences of police brutality being swept under the rug. Talk about pigs in a blanket. In 2015, the Bureau of Justice Statistics found that from 2003 to 2009 and 2011, ARD, arrest-related deaths, only captured approximately 49% of people killed by police. Let's assume that in fact, only half of police killings are being reported, and thus there's an extra 1,000 a year that we aren't even hearing about. And even if for some reason that extra 1,000 doesn't skew more likely to affect black people, like the officers who hide their killings are extremely deceitful murderers but not racist, you still combine that data with the data that we have, and still black people are 1.75 times more likely to be killed by the police. That's best case scenario. And if you don't understand how I got 1.75 from our earlier figure of 2.5 and this stat, do the division yourself, you moron. I'm not your tutor. But I am available to tutor your kids if they want that. So anytime anyone cites any stat on police brutality, you can just say, shh, that's only half the truth, Cupcake, which you can do to me right now in the comments. Drop me a comment. Go. I dare you. Final myth. Black lives matter. 100% true. And if you don't believe that 100%, you suck at being human. And you suck at math too.
You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it.
What's up, y'all? This is Sammy Obeid, local aspiring politician, local Whole Foods shopper, mandated community service doer. Today, we're going to get high and solve depression. This is High as Truth. So today we're smoking Tri-Fi. It's a hybrid. It sounds like Wi-Fi and it sounds like trifles. Want to take a hit?
Yeah, sure.
Just out here in the forest of Wuhan.
Oh, yep. Do one sit-up.
We feeling good?
Yeah. How you doing, bro?
How am I doing?
Yeah.
I think that's the first problem right there, is how you doing. It's always such a loaded question. And it's always very difficult to answer. It creates anxiety, which creates depression, which makes you worse than you actually are. How? It's a kind of measurement. Who is a measurement of which person? What is a measurement of which object? When is a measurement of which time? Where is a measurement of which location? Why is a measurement of which meaning? People always think that why is the most complex of the question. Actually, it's how. People are looking for meaning in life. That's why people are watching this video right now. We're obsessed with the why, and because we can't find the why, we get sad. When really, why is not that complicated. Why is whatever you want it to be. How is a story of the actions you must take to get from point A to point Z. That's the definition.
To come up, right?
Yeah, we assign happiness as a binary thing. You're either unhappy or you're happy. It's a multi-dimensional array of feelings. And when you ask someone how they're doing, the person immediately thinks of a linear thing. Well, like, I'm feeling great because I just got out of jail. Things are going awesome. I know a lot of people who went to jail and they are unhappy when they come out. They miss jail. Like, jail.
You know a lot of people that went to jail?
I do. I wouldn't say I know a lot of people who went to jail. But of the people I know who went to jail, half of them got sad when they came out.
Really?
Yes. The common responses to how are you doing is good or
yeah, you're an
not.
asshole if you don't say good, man, because then I gotta ask you a follow-up question.
Yeah, now you're feeling bad, but you're telling the person you're feeling good because you don't want to ruin their day.
Right.
So now you're feeling bad and you're a liar. And that makes you feel even worse. Or you're like a good person who empathizes with people and you're like, oh, that's sad, and you sit there in the sadness with them. Which, sure, that's what the good person does, but like, you put me in that position by saying that to me, but I put you in that position by asking you how you are.
right? But society put me in this position to ask you how you are out of formality. I can see that you're sad. So if I don't ask you how you're doing, suddenly I'm an asshole. Because society says,
You have to give a fuck.
you have to give a fuck. Nobody needs to know how you feel. It's nobody's responsibility. It's not even your responsibility. I don't need to know how I feel. I can just be. The moment I try to qualify exactly how I'm feeling is the moment I can say that I could be feeling better in some way.
Right.
And that is the root cause of unhappiness.
Self-awareness?
Yes! Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that wild turkey. This turkey has never ever assessed once in its whole entire turkey life, am I a happy turkey or a sad turkey? Not once. Easiest life hack for happiness, go in nature. If you go in nature, give it a couple hours, and let's say, sure, maybe you're in a deep state of depression, go for a couple days. If after a couple days in nature, you're still unhappy, kill yourself. Do you get that moon? People associate moon with night. But the sun and the moon are up there throughout the day and night. The sun's just on the other side. The moon is in the day sky half the time. You just don't notice it because the light makes you too dumb to see the moon.
So light makes you less bright.
The human mind, this beautiful instrument, has the ability to locate a point in consciousness that makes it feel happy because it can imagine whatever contingency is necessary for that happiness to be achieved, right? So much. If you believe sometimes the world adjusts for you.
Right.
The world is like a crosswalk. It's not about how are you doing. It's about how can you get to what, where, why, and who you want to be.
There has to be a way to consolidate that.
Oh my God, it just hit me. We've been looking for like the simplest way of expressing all of this, right? Earlier we saw wild turkeys. When I went to Berkeley, I had to take a Native American Studies course, and we had to learn a little bit of the language Choctaw. They did not have a past or future tense. Everything took place in the present.
In the moment.
In the moment. The other thing was we saw wild turkeys, right?
Right.
One of the very few words I remember in Choctaw is the word for turkey. And people who know Choctaw, people who want to check this out, this is true. The word for turkey in Choctaw is fuck it. So we went on a spiritual mission to discover what is the issue with society, why is society so unhappy, what they can do to alleviate their unhappiness. And we found fuck it. There are so many bugs. But you know what those little bugs are, man? Trifles.
Holy macaroni. Ladies and gentlemen, Sammy Obeid.
It's all virtual. You're actually not here for those of you who are stoned. So I have only one mask. It's red, and I live in a neighborhood of all Crips. So either way, I'm gonna die. Forget these masks. I think we need magnets. Everybody wears a negative on negative magnet, so we all repel each other.
Of all the Zoom shows I've done, this feels the most like a real show because it started late and the host is doing too much time between the acts.
Does anybody here miss saying bless you when somebody sneezes? Now it's like, get the away from me. Are you just wrong?
I'm here is my closet, and I've got all kinds of shit. I got hats. Check it out. I got hats. Yeah. You want a fedora? I got a fedora. Look at this. Comedians, normally when we perform, we see the audience, but now because of the screen, we see ourselves. And when I see myself on screen, I realize my eyes are drooping. After the corona, I'm gonna go see a nice plastic surgeon that's just gonna pull my head back like that. You're gonna be like, Maz, something's different. What? Nothing's different. What are you talking about? I'm just a lot more alert. We actually get to see the count of participants. So you see right now there was 164, now there's 163. Some bastard just left. It better not be Shanto. Shanto, if you just left, you piece of
I am quarantining in this Barbie house, so My mom's from the Soviet Union. I'm begging her, don't go to Trader Joe's. Their lines are crazy. And she's like, for me, it's okay. Wait in line for food. I don't mind. It's memory lane. Friends are texting me, we're not going to buy anything from China anymore. You're texting me on an iPhone, you idiot.
Now, toilet paper is worth more than gold. You can't wipe your butt with gold. You can with toilet paper. So finally, it took COVID to make me understand how paper can defeat rock by being much more valuable. Now, I did just get the lights. That means it is time to start my set. So I will...
Anybody been on any walks? I feel like I retired, but without having to go through the difficulty of becoming a success. I know I retired because I got fully dressed to mail a letter.
I chose this as my background because nobody's using this room anymore. I don't think 5G causes coronavirus, because if it did, AT&T would charge me for it.
I don't really believe it came from China. I really think it came from people eating ham hock, bacon, chitlin sandwiches.
If I have antibodies, I'm putting it on my LinkedIn.
I wear hearing aids, and people often ask me, how much are you reading lips? And that this virus has happened and everybody is wearing a mask. I can tell you that the answer is 100% of the time.
Doesn't UTI sound like a technical college?
The guy who recycles my stuff at my house, he's been recycling for like 3 weeks, and he finally left an AA pamphlet on my door.
I think it's so weird. Call it special victims because, like, aren't all victims special? Can you imagine being the victim of a stabbing and you go in to report it at special victims unit and they're like, you just got stabbed, you're not special.
You ever go to a black pool party? That's just a party by a pool. There's no...
Remember when, like, people were, like, justifying their coughs? That's how when I knew it was bad. It'd just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I just smoked 3 blunts.
My girlfriend's like, wow, The Rock's a good actor. Who'd have thought The Rock? It's like, baby, you keep calling him The Rock. His name is Dwayne. Who is that iconic in their first role that you call them that for the rest of their life, except The Rock and Mr. Bean? That's acting.
We'll see you next week with more hot lineups. Thank you so much.
Here's why this show is special. When I'm done, I'm not going to log off. How much I'll pay? Exactly. Who cares who the performs next?
A lot of people don't know that Arabic numerals are the numbers that we use, right? 1, 2, 3. People think they're only Arabic when they're counted down, like 3, 2, 1.
There was a survey just last year in which 56% of Americans voted that we need to ban the use of Arabic numerals. How are we supposed to never forget 9/11 if we get rid of 9 and 11? They aren't even Arabic. They're from India. Banning Arabic numerals is like searching a Punjabi man at the airport. It's extra racist. The numerals go back 3,000 years ago to the Vedic period in India, and later first organized as the Brahmi numerals. They were also used by Buddhists, probably to time out their meditations.
Set timer for 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
The basic numerals only went up to 9. It wasn't until 628 AD when Indian mathematician Brahmagupta officially introduced 0 to the system.
Oh my God.
And because Indians engaged in trade with the Arabs.
Oh, what are those?
Hindu numerals?
Oh, can I get those digits?
No.
From there, they went to the Middle East, where a Persian mathematician fell in love with them. He wrote a book about them. He told everyone, even Europeans.
Oh, okay, so you're some sort of Arab.
Persian.
Okay, Arab.
Yeah. Arab.
His name was Al-Khwarizmi, or the Latin version, Algorithmi, which is the root for algorithm, So basically he controls Instagram.
And you get all the likes in the world. And you need more relatable content.
I'm kidding, but he was very influential. Algorithm, algebra, all the Al stuff is because of him. But he didn't try to claim the numerals were his. His book was titled On the Calculation with Hindu numerals.
Hey, check out this book, Arabic numerals.
Oh, I get it, because he's Arab. No, actually,
It took a while for them to catch on in the West, but they did, thanks to the endorsement of legendary Italian mathematician Fibonacci. So they're Hindu, adopted by Arabs, spread by a Persian, endorsed by an Italian numerals. That's the politically correct way of saying it. And if you don't like being PC, you could still accurately call them body hair numerals. Because, you know. But in 1299, the city of Florence banned the use of Arabic numerals. There's lots of speculation as to why, but end of the day, this was during the Crusades, and no one wants to use the number system of the enemy. Good thing nothing like this would ever happen again. That was sarcasm. It happened again. But the numerals themselves are beautiful and quite exotic. May I? Okay. This is 1, pronounced 1. This is 2, pronounced 2. And this is 3. And you get it. So why is there this movement to ban Arabic numerals if we all use them? Simple. Numerical terrorism. A lot of people associate Arabic culture with terrorism. So in their minds, if we continue the use of Arabic numerals, the terrorists win. And this isn't a new movement. They've been trying to eradicate them for years. Al-Khwarizmi wrote his books and stored all of his transcripts about the Arabic numeral system in his master library in Baghdad. Remember when we invaded Iraq, but no reports could show what we were looking for? Oh, we knew what we were looking for. Arabic numerals are the weapons of mass destruction. Or should I say, math destruction? That was pretty funny, right? So what do they want to replace them with? Simple. Roman numerals. They've been trying since 1299, and they still are. I mean, look at the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is Arabic free. Except for one player on the Detroit Lions. And the jerseys. And the field itself. And the seats. The scoreboard. The clocks. The salaries. Shakira. Remember what Shakira did? She's like, ah! Well, she didn't. I guess she didn't have the, you know what I mean. Again, not even Arabic. They're Indian. And guess who now is the fastest growing ethnic group in America? It's ironic. It's like if Columbus came now, he would have been right. And no one's stopping them. There's no wall being built around engineering jobs. No firewall. They're coming in big numbers, they're multiplying in big numbers, and they're coming back to claim their numbers. And their food's like delicious.
Okay, Arab.
Arab.
Okay, let's go.
So, I did a show once where I walked into a bar and it was just empty except for a drunk couple at the bar who was already in a fight with the host, and they were extremely racist. Like, the first thing I hear when I walked in was, no, but that Vegas shooter, like, he's not a terrorist because he's white. That was literally the first thing I heard when I walked in, and I was like, oh my god, what kind of show is this? And the host goes, no, but do you know what a terrorist is, though? It's someone who inflicts terror. And her boyfriend goes, just listen to her, man. And I was like, oh, this is the kind of show it's going to be, I guess. And in the middle of this argument, I turn around and I notice there's one other audience member, and it's just a blind guy in the corner, just hanging out. And at that moment, he goes, hey, He goes, I want pussy. Like, that's what he yelled. That was what he wanted in that moment, I guess. And the drunk girl goes, I'll see your dick. I swear to God, they get up and they leave together. And for like 10 minutes. Finally, they come back, they sit in their respective seats, and with the new confidence that this guy had, he just goes, you know what? I want to do stand-up. And the host goes back on stage, and he was like, the show literally can't get any worse. Come do a few minutes. So the blind guy goes on stage with his stick and everything, and just goes, don't you hate it when girls just want to see your dick? Straight up, that was the first thing he said. To total silence. We're just like, is this for real? And at that moment, the booker of the show walks in and sees this guy on stage. And he talks to the host. He was like, who the hell is this guy? And he goes, well, it's kind of a funny story. He goes, no, dude, get him off the stage. And then he tries to give him the light to get off. And he couldn't figure it out. He's like, why can't he see it? And then he realizes it. And he's like, oh, he's blind. And the comics in the back just erupt in laughter. And the blind guy goes, there we go.
And there you have it.
I finally got around to watching The Irishman, and let me tell you, The Irishman, hands
Oh,
There he
sorry.
is.
I'm like the only Indian in the world that does not understand how to work this. My cousins all around the world is watching this like, unmuted, you idiot, unmute.
But weed's illegal, and I think that's amazing that weed's legal, but I don't think that's far enough. I think weed should be mandatory. I think everybody needs to try it at least once. Just get a little too high, look in the mirror for a little too long, think about all your fucking flaws, write them down, and fucking fix that shit, dude. That's what weed is there for, to make you aware of that shit. There's this stigma that weed is associated with ignorance. It's far from the truth, right? You hear people say, I don't smoke weed because it makes me depressed. That's not the weed, that's you. You were already depressed. The weed made you aware of that shit. And you don't like being aware of things that are there. That means you're ignorant. You need to smoke weed and get rid of that. Like, there's different strains. You need to at least understand that. You can't just write off all the strains as equal. People go, every time I smoke weed, it makes me lazy. Because you smoked an indica strain and went to the gym. You're a fucking moron, dude. Learn the indica couch, okay? This is textbook marijuana 2020. Sativa's the one you can smoke at your job. I have the saying for that. Smoke sativa, you will achieve it. Take that. Take that. And hybrid just gets you high as dude. Hybrid just gets you high, man. Well, I don't smoke weed because it makes me stupid. That's not the weed, man. You're not using it for the right things. Try smoking weed and reading a book, okay? That'll be the hardest book you ever read. But if you can read a book high, you can climb Everest, man. I'm telling you. It's already hard enough to read a book sober. You ever been like 10 pages in a book? You're like, oh, I wasn't even paying attention the whole time. I gotta go back now. Where was I?
Ladies and gentlemen, Sammy Obeid.
Isn't that weird? That was weird. Dude, is it 2020 or what? I mean, look at how my head tickles. Look at that haircut, it's like a crescent moon. I'm a homebody. I feel like this was my time. And everybody's like, I feel the same way. Like, we were all homebodies the whole time. Why were we going out in the first place? I wash my hands every 5 minutes since 2003. I have no skin on my hands. Look at that. I have no hands. We need to keep the mask. And this is not like a Middle Eastern Sharia law thing. I like that we can't do small talk anymore. I tried to talk to him at the store. He was like, I'm like, I can't hear you, sir. I had a mask on too, so I was like, oh, sir.
I feel a little bit like we're living in a reverse horror film where all the actors are yelling at us to stay inside. Get inside!
My sleep schedule right now is 5 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon. This is actually the first thing I've done with my day.
When I've been going to the grocery store, one thing I've noticed, old people don't give a about distancing. The amount of 70-year-olds who are just going, hi! I started transitioning genders the day before we all got locked inside. I know, I feel like I'm like locked in a room turning into a werewolf, but like a werewolf.
I am 8 months pregnant, or as my mom likes to say, I'm letting myself go.
I haven't called my mom in months. I don't need a pandemic to be a bad son, all right?
I used to be in a long distance relationship, man. It didn't work out at all because, you know, she lived in Boston, which is right here, and I cheated on her, so.
Kyle, please call me back. It's a freaking pandemic, okay? You promised me Uber Eats, and like, why won't Rihanna release the album?
I hate to break it to you, a polar bear and a black bear, that's not how panda bears are made. Like,
these professional zookeepers are trying to get the pandas to do the thing for the past 10 years. So before this, it was actually a pandademic. That was for you.
I love looking at you guys. David, I don't know nothing about you, but I'm liking the stash, man. Dude, I took a picture of me with this to my mom. She got all excited because she thought I was going to train to become a doctor now, man.
I used to go to a bank with a mask on. People would freak out. Now they freak out to go to a bank without a mask on. Like some people have like a magnetic personality. I have more of like the personality of someone who collects magnets.
Any kids on the broadcast want to know what a feminist is? Yeah, that means you don't have to shave your armpits and they can't tell you nothing.
Anybody do communion online? I don't have the elements at home. I took communion with a corn tortilla and a shot glass of tequila. My cousin's freaking out. He got paroled in January just to get quarantined in February.
I personally love Babies on a Plane because I believe in God. You guys remember? He was big in the 80s. And in my head, I just feel like God is less likely to crash a plane that has innocent babies on it. So the more babies, the safer I feel.
I'm not worried about the coronavirus. I'll tell you why, man. I drink literally a pint of whiskey a day, a pack of cigarettes, and all I eat is McDonald's or Burger King. I'll tell you, if the coronavirus ever comes into my body, the first thing it's going to say is, get me the out of here. I'll even grab that coronavirus back into my body when it's trying to leave. It's like, where are you going? It's Cocaine Sunday. What are you doing, buddy?
Give it up for Maddie on the ones and twos tonight. Doesn't Maddie look like if Jesus cut his hair? Trump promised us the economy would be back on Easter. Trump was not lying. He didn't say the economy was going to be back. He said e-comedy is going to be back. We'll see you next time.
Have I run over my time?
No, you're great. Whatever you want.
Okay.
Maggie, we have nowhere to go.
So this is my message to the kids. Don't do drugs if you look like you do drugs. Probably 2007, long-haired Nick. Loved Wu-Tang. In fact, had 3 Wu-Tang shirts, so it was my daily wardrobe. Me and a buddy are driving to a gig. We're going to El Paso to perform at the comic strip. We leave at 11 p.m. because we think traveling at night is so much better. My buddy has a spot at the Hollywood Improv. That's where we start our journey. Takes a few drinks. In fact, he gets a little plastered. We get on the road. I didn't know that my buddy had weed on him too. So we're driving, about 4 hours in the trip, we get to Blythe, California. Now some of you may know Blythe if you pass through it. Apparently a lot of cops pull over comics on trips there. My buddy pulls out his pipe and weed, which I didn't know he had on him. Starts smoking in my car. And I look at him like, hey, we can't have that in my car. So I start to exit, because in my mind I'm like, let's just put it into the back seat. And then you can smoke it where we get to. Now, note, I'm 100% sober at this time, even though I look like a pothead. Long hair, Wu-Tang shirt, buddy who looks like a pothead, drunk and high. As we're pulling over the exit, cop lights come on. They've been following us. They said that we were speeding, but it didn't matter, because when I told my buddy to hide his weed, he threw it on the floorboard, right where the cop shined his flashlight. Pipe and weed. So, they pulled me out of the car. The officer starts conducting sobriety tests, and I'm messing it all up. It's 4 a.m. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm nervous. We're near a highway. Cars passing by. He tells me to do this test. Count from 1 to 10, taking steps forward, turn around, then count from 10 to 1. That's the instruction I miss, right? So I do the 1 to 10, turn around, and do the 1 to 10 again. Messed up that sobriety test. Then it was follow the pen. Then it was a few other ones. He determines that I am either high or drunk. Throws me in the back of the cop car. My friend's still drunk. He comes up to me with his little video camera and says, what do you want to tell the world? Because he's going to post it on Facebook. And I said, get out of my face. I go to jail, 6 a.m. Other sheriffs are clocking into their shift. The cop that pulled me over is upset because he wants me to admit that I was drunk or high. They tell me that they've arrested Gabriel Iglesias before. So, they call in a nurse, 8 a.m. to take blood, because I am not saying that I'm drunk or high, because I'm not. I've been 100% stone cold sober, right? And the guy wants me to admit that I did something which is not true. So, they take my blood, throw him in a cell all by myself. While in there, the jailers find out that I'm a stand-up comic. and they watch all my routines, and they ask me if I know Angela Johnson. I get my mugshot taken with a Wu-Tang shirt. 10 a.m. I'm finally released. My buddy is there to greet me. They said they took him to Denny's, right? Drunk and high, went to Denny's. So, we continue our trip, get to El Paso, do the gig. Now, if you don't know anything about DUIs, the minute that it's on record, lawyers start sending out letters to get you to hire them to have this dealt with. It's immediately known. So all these letters are going to my mom's house, which is my mailing address, right? She's freaking out. My buddy tells me, don't worry, man. I'll hire a lawyer. I'll handle all the fees. We're going to get this taken care of because I know you're 100% stone cold sober and it was my fault. So the lawyer says, I'll keep an eye on it. And he does. Court date never comes up. I never get asked to come back to Blythe because of this. Finally, the lawyer calls me and says, hey, so since your blood came back 100% clean, this is not going to go to the courts because you would have ruined this cop's career. I was the first guy that he ever field tested. He was new to that side of copetry, whatever it might be. Policeness, right? I was informed that since I was 100% clean, if we would have gone to court, he would have lost the case, and then any lawyer in that town could have used my case against him for every single DUI, DWI arrest that this guy attempts. Because since he can't be 100% sure because of me, then he can't be 100% sure with everybody else. So, everything was dropped, or so I thought, until 5 years later, when I tried to get global entry, and it popped up. But I got global entry, because I was 100% clean.
Yes!
Yeah. And now I do drugs. The
Full
minute,
circle,
yeah,
dude.
the minute I stopped looking like a pothead, now I'm doing pot.
Would never guess it with this guy.
Mm-mm. So don't do drugs if you look like you do drugs.
What's up, y'all? This is Sammy Obeid, mathematician, comedian, and marijuana enthusiast. I'm about to get high and solve the world's biggest problem. This is Highest Truth. We're here in my parents' backyard. Fuck you, Mom. Alright. Oh! I know that was creepy, I'm sorry. I know, not a great time to be coughing. So, we're about to go for a walk. Get all creative. Yet another reason to get copper water bottles is the virus can only survive on them for 8 hours max. And it tastes good. If literally everything was just copper, we'd be a lot safer, right? Statue of Liberty, safe as fuck right now. Anybody who just has a lot of pennies, safe as fuck. I'm not banking on vaccine. I don't think there's a lot of money going into the pharmaceutical industry because every time I buy drugs, they're so cheap and nobody ever complains about how expensive drugs are. So there's no way they have the funding that they need to do it. But you know, that's why drug premiums are so high for R&D. We need this money for research. Woo! Penis pills. Let's see them put their R&D where the D is. People are still gonna be fucking bats, right? People think this think this is from eating bats. This shit is not from eating. Eating a bat, people would just get sick for a day. Somebody fucked a bat. All right, this screams bat. But viruses actually serve a very, very important function in evolution and biology. They help horizontal gene transfer. So viruses can take genes from one organism and take them to another, and a positive evolution can happen. We need to start looking at viruses as more of an opportunity than a setback. So really what we should be doing is fucking a lot of bats. Getting a lot of these diseases from these animals and putting them in like a petri dish and making one super vaccine. You make a vaccine for COVID-19 and then a COVID-20 comes out, then a COVID-21 comes out. Dude, put all the COVIDs in one, make one super vaccine, throw a little Ebola in there. I mean, listen, if the Europeans never got the plague, who would we be as a species right now? Probably less colonialism, but still, we can't let lack of beds be a deterrent to our treatment of the sick. Why can't we have hospital air mattresses? a futon. We get hospital futons. Then it's a waiting chair for the people in the waiting room. And then you're like, no, you guys gotta get up. We gotta use the futon. There we go. Every time I go to Sleep World or Sleep Train, they're always empty. Use your inventory. Start sending it over to hospitals. We need to think about what the problem is here, right? We have a virus that's attacking us where? In our lungs. We need to get it out. You gotta literally blow the virus out of your lungs. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, people are losing work. They don't have a career. So what do we need? Blow jobs. Literally, kids are running at us right now, trying to infect us. The kids started running, going like this, and going, I'm gonna get you. Like, that's what just happened to us.
Big jihadi energy.
Yeah. I think we need to separate the kids from the adults. It's out here walking, high as fuck, right? And to forget that my parents are out here walking too. This is not planned, it's not staged. Just keep it cool, just keep chill. Nobody knows what's going on. Hey guys. Hey, social distance. All right.
Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hey guys.
What are you guys doing?
Hey, you guys are kind of close, separate. This is an example of why this isn't so bad. If you're a kid and you're trying to get high and you don't want your parents to know, when they could get up in your face and they see your bloodshot eyes and they hear your cotton mouth, they smell the weed on you, you're caught. My parents wouldn't even get within 6 feet of me. They have no fucking idea I'm high right now. It's legal, bro.
Dystopian.
Dystopian, bro. That's dopian. Come on, man.
Hello, and welcome to my story of my car accident from a few weeks ago. I was in a car accident in an Uber pool because I'm doing well, and we were on the freeway and we crashed into a stopped car. And you guys want to know what race the driver was. That's what you want to know. I can tell. You're all asking me what race was the driver, what race was he, and he was old. He was very old. The other driver was Asian. So we were sitting there, stopped on the freeway, and this old dude and this young, confused Asian kid don't know what to do, and we all have to exchange information. So I end up putting all of us in a group chat together. And we send all of our driver's license and insurance information to each other. And I have to explain to these guys, it's their first time in a group chat. I have to tell them, group chats are not meant for this. Group chats are meant to send each other memes and to demean men, you know? If you've ever sent a dick pic out, we've seen it in a group chat. And then I had to, after the accident, I had to go to the hospital. So I had to decide how I was getting there because, like, do I call another Uber? Is that gonna hold up in court? Like, are they just gonna say I kept going back to my abuser? Or what do I do? So then I end up calling my friend and he takes me to the hospital. And I find out while at the hospital that the most painful part of a car accident is finding out how much you really weigh. Turns out their technology for that is excellent. And insurance doesn't cover lipo, so great. The other rough part of going to the hospital was I went to get x-rays done, and the x-ray tech found out that I knew some medical terminology, and so he asked me what I did for my career. And I told him I had just quit my PhD to do stand-up, and he was like, no. I was like, yes, I'm so sorry, and then I just started crying. And then he said that his son also does something like what I do. And I said, what does your son do? And he said, oh, you know, he's just an actor. He acts a little bit. And I said, what has he acted in? And he's like, oh, he's just in this little movie coming out. And I was like, what movie? And he was like, oh, he just plays LeBron James's younger self in the new Space Jam. So that was fun to hear. But I thought it was amazing. I thought this guy had accomplished the American dream. He came from Congo, was an x-ray technician, and then had a child who was gonna make more than he's ever made in his life in one check and never respect him again. That's the American dream. It's beautiful. Then the other part of this story is that while I was at the hospital for several hours, I was hitting on everyone. I was hitting on the doctors, the nurses, the other patients, because why not? But I think it was rough for me because as I was hitting on the nurses, they were misgendering me. They were like, "Sir, I'm not interested." So I left without getting any, even though my whole ass was out the entire time. Anyways, that's my story. Give me money, Uber.
I'm sure they will.
I hope so.
That's why I lived. I'm recovering from a cold. I feel much better now. Whenever I get sick, I always feel like I'm gonna die. I'm terrified of viruses, man. Viruses hate human beings. They hate us because we didn't give them a kingdom in the classification system. Right, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. There's 6 kingdoms of classification in the system, all right? There's animals, there's plants, there's fungus. You guys know what I'm talking about? Have to pick someone for that. Bacteria gets 2 kingdoms. Oh, the double sweet. Thank you very much. And then the last one is protists, which is algae. Seriously? Algae made the cut? Do you think viruses are a little bit pissed about that? Like, algae? What? We're killing people on a daily, all right? We have the common cold coming out with a new release every year. We had Ebola putting us on the map last year. We're the reason you wear condoms. You're terrified of us. We are viruses. How many more have to die till we get a kingdom? I guess what I'm trying to say is free Palestine. I don't really know.
And I guess we just gotta take it day by day, you know?
Yeah.
That's all we could do. Cause sense of normalcy only returns when everyone agrees it does, and like we're just nowhere close to that.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna end this.
All right. Okay.
Unless you have any final thoughts.
Yeah, I do have a final thought. And that is that nothing has ever been normal. That is a complete human fallacy to assume that we left normal and we're in a non-normal. Your life was never normal. You always were complaining about something or thinking that things were amazing, which is not normal. Things are not always amazing. You hear that plane? That's normalcy. The plane's still flying. Oh, we're in such a crazy situation. There's a plane still taking passengers during a pandemic. How not normal is that? It's pretty normal. So there's this sense that normalcy has been lost when really there never was normalcy. Every day is a new normal if you look at it that way. So use the opportunity of departing this false sense of normalcy to realize that life is as normal as you want it to be, and you always have the chance to create anew. And this is that on a massive level of human consciousness. So, going back to, are we going to get back to normal? No, and we shouldn't want to. We should always want to progress and evolve. Because if the monkeys always wanted to go back to normalcy, they'd still be normal-ass monkeys. This is a comedy show. I am related by blood to all of these people. 2 of them for sure, okay?
I am the uncle.
I have family in Lebanon, Gaza, Bahrain, and then Texas. I call them the LGBT community. And don't forget about the Q, Qatar. Come on. Did you know actually the LGBT community is adding I now? I think it's intersex, but we refuse to annex Israel. Come on, everybody. Come on. Yeah, Uncle like that one. Yeah.
I am the uncle.
You ever notice that when a KKK takes off their face mask, they just become a chef? Come on, everybody. So people ask me who I'm going to vote for. And the truth is, I have depression. Okay, and who doesn't nowadays? Except this man, the happiest man in the world. So people ask me who you're going to vote for. I say, well, it doesn't really matter because whoever wins, I'm still going to be depressed. So I guess you could say I'm blue no matter who. Come on. Now. Blue no matter who. Blue no matter who. Give him that hot flute. This is Arab culture at its finest. That was great.
You know this thing about the conversation joke?